Hi guys, and welcome back to some more Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments. That started off well. Right, what do we have to do? Solve the crime. I knew that. Investigate the crime scene and talk to witnesses. Have we talked to him yet?
This crime had never happened, Mr.
We have
Holmes.
talked to him. Okay, maybe we need to talk... Oh, in fact, we need to interrogate Leighton and examine his belongings at Scotland Yard. But I feel like are we missing a witness here? What? I feel like I said witness and missing. Have we missed... What? Have we missed a witness? Do I need to interrogate the police officer again? That is possibility, probably.
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
Yeah. I have no idea what I'm saying anymore.
Mr. Holmes, did you see my brother at Scotland Yard? Is he alright?
I'm just walking away from him as he's in the middle of talking to me. I guess we'll go speak to the brother, I guess, at Scotland Yard. That should hopefully steer us in the direction that we should be going in. Oh! Up close and personal with Watson here. Hey Watson. Nice moustache. Don't think I've ever complimented you on it before. Oh look, it's me. Bye, me. I'll see you again in approximately however long this takes to load. 3, 2...
Mr. Holmes, whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
Alright, shapes of noses? Do you have a particular reason that you have a shape of noses board? Who am I to judge? I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm sure I probably have like a book on the shapes of noses. Alright, let's not go to the morgue. Why do I always go back to the morgue? I want to go to the questioning place.
Please escort this suspect
Wait, no.
for interrogation.
I want you to look at the items, actually. Ah, well, we could
Good
interrogate him
evening,
again.
Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
I am.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
Good boy. I like it when men behave. Tell me your story.
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work, and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw two men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head, and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead, and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
Time to return.
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand, though. I took it, and then I followed the third man.
Pray continue, my friend.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man.
Tell us about this third man.
Leighton, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps... It's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
Alright, let's look at him a little bit. He's got a scar on his face and a black eye. Deep scar, occasional fights, grew up on the street. Cushy job, office clerk. I missed most of that because of the colour of the font. Fancy scarf, downtown fashion, cushy job. Okay. He's got a tattoo. Westgate prison tattoo, past imprisonment, committed a crime. We seen that somewhere else, didn't we? Oh. I'm missing something. Oh no. Well, I mean, I am missing something, but... Recent beating, resisted arrest, hot-headed. Why follow him?
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled. Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know. I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted revenge.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
Cue... Westgate prisoners? Or the antique...
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims, Brian
Ah,
Vercotti.
that's where we recognise the
You
tattoo.
knew that gentleman well, did you not?
However could you know that?
You have a typical tattoo of the Westgate Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
Oh, God. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
Tell us more about Brian Vercotti then. Like, what is your relationship with him? Were you bros? Tell us more.
Would you tell me a little about Brian Vercotti?
We were convicted for a robbery. Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we were. We'd only stolen a pound of meat. After we were released, and when I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And Vercotti?
He had a hard time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split. He fell back into crime.
So you lost him?
Yes. And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
We shall see you soon, young man.
Alright, so we can now make a couple of deductions here. Leighton Chapman Yes, Leighton Chapman stated that he saw a person leaning over a dead body just as he entered the scene. Leighton took a gun from the body and set off in pursuit of the man, but he was blinded by a flash of bright light. There were 2 victims, Brian Vercotti and Kenneth Butler, who were both found shot in the dark in narrow Half Moon Street, which is located between a Great Alley and Whitechapel High Street. There was different shots, which we saw wasn't linked to the 2 victims. It's not really linked to anything that so far, but old acquaintances should be forgotten and never brought to mind. Or should old acquaintance be forgot? Whatever. Brian Vercotti is an old acquaintance of Leighton Chapman. They were both... yes, they were both in prison for robbery while still young men, but they're past their years after their release. Which actually is attached to the lootless thing. So the violent crime committed in Half Moon Street by Leighton Chapman could have been a personal motive, if it was indeed Leighton Chapman that done it. I want to look at his personal effects, which I believe are kept in here. And then we might be able to interrogate him some more, actually.
These cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting.
We've got Leighton's gun.
So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon.
Alright.
It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder.
What else can we look at here? I feel like we shouldn't be pointing the gun right in our face. I don't know much about guns, but I know don't point them in your face. 2 shots fired.
2 out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots. A cheap watch. Bought with his own money, no doubt.
Interrogate Leighton and inspect his belongings completed. Okay. So I guess we don't have anything else to interrogate him with if it's saying we've completed it. Okay, I have to apologise for this weird flashing thing that seems to be happening. I'm assuming it's going to be picking up and recording, but it done it with the subtitles earlier, and now it's doing it right now, and it's very awkward. So investigate the ancient bracelet and find out how it could have appeared at Half Moon Street. I guess we would have to go home and check our, catalogue of things, I guess, is how I would describe it. Library, that's how I would describe it, not catalogue of things. Extreme close-up of, Watson again. Alright. The fact of showing the bee thing makes me think I should be linking more things, but I don't want to link more things until I've searched for the bracelet. Okay, we're not wanting to see chemistry, poisons and toxins, wounds and injuries, criminalistics, martial arts, marks and symbols. No. Newspapers. Encyclopedias, maybe? History? Antique golden bracelet. With decorative ram heads. I would say that's more Greek.
That is not the one.
No. Okay, maybe it is under research. I would say it has to be under research. That would be my initial thought anyway. Wounds and injuries, criminalistics, toxicology and ballistics, martial arts, marks and symbols. The rod of
That is not the one I need.
None of that seems right. Okay, back. Maybe newspapers. That
is not the one I need.
Just because I remembered they said they committed a burglary, I thought, well, it could be useful, but I guess not. Oh.
That is not the one I need.
I thought that said bracelet. Maybe I'm blind today. Art and architecture. Why not dynamite? That's a great question. I don't know why I seem to think rams had anything to do with Greeks. I mean, it could be Romans.
That is not the one I need. That is not.
Okay. I mean, it's nothing to do with botany or anything. An antique golden bracelet was found. It is decorated with distinctive ram heads. I would think it would have to be in a newspaper article then. First Electric Railway opens, Bankruptcy Act, Fenian condemned for murder, Dawson and Nelligan are bankrupt, immigration in the rise, Emma Key's murder, coach starter. I just want to read all these things. Like, don't give me all these options and not let me. Could it be the treasure stolen?
That is not the one I need.
Like, don't give me all these options but not give me the chance to read them. A Study in Scarlet, Whitechapel murder, Jack the Ripper. Scandal at Divine Syndicate. There's a blast from the past. Beckcliff's mummy. Nope, none of those. Alright, back to research. I mean, it has nothing to do with chemistry. I wouldn't say it's anything to do with that. I wouldn't say it's anything to do with wounds and injuries. And criminalistics? No. Martial arts? No. And it's like, it's nothing to do with these.
That is not the one I need.
Oh, I'll just skip it. I have no idea what I'm supposed to find here.
I need to
I wanted to read it.
Research in my archives.
But I wanted to read it. Where'd it go? 5 rams of Mytilene. I must have missed that somewhere then. These beautiful antique jewels represent a part of the Hellenistic treasures collection. Depicted are the 5 heads of mountain rams upon a bracelet, necklace and ring, each made of pure gold. The 5 rams of Mytilene have been missing from the museum since 1885, so it must have been under a newspaper article. Or at least this will be then. 85. Hellenistic treasures stolen. The Hellenistic treasures were stolen yesterday evening while being transported by cab on their way from the British Museum to the Glassford Fine Art Exhibition. Pawnshop owner Kenneth Butler contacted Scotland Yard that night and provided information regarding a gentleman who had attempted to sell him a collection of historical art at his pawnshop in Church Street. The police have since captured this described man, a professional thief by the name of Vincent Foley, who could possibly be related to Mick Foley the wrestler, who had been in the process of escaping London via the port. He was recognised by the surviving driver of the cab that had transported a collection of the Hellenistic treasures. Vincent Foley refused to confess as to where the remainder of the treasures were hidden. He was eventually imprisoned. The lost treasures are still to be found until I found him. Oh yeah, I found him.
Kenneth Butler was involved in the story of the stolen Hellenistic treasures. A visit to his pawn shop should tell me more.
Oh, my phone's ringing. I can assume it's not for me. No one else is in the house, but I assume it's not for me. Should be fine. I'll leave a message. I am determined to continue recording while we visit the pawn shop. I wonder if it's picking up on the microphone, the phone ringing, actually. I think it has done in the past. I'll ignore it. Should be fine.